And use this beautiful museum, the Jewish Children Museum. It's a museum that's a symbol of all of our children in this community. And oftentimes, people talk about the diversity of Crown Heights, that they don't focus on how we come together during times of need. We may be in different churches and different houses of worship and different synagogues, but when the community needs to come together, we rally together as one community, and we believe that wholeheartedly. And no one has really personified that more than this building here, that's representative of all of our children in this city. And it's important to us that we come with a unified voice. The signs say it all: bring our boys home. I think no parent would ever want to endure this nightmare of having their children on the way home from school, receiving that phone call and stating that your child has been harmed, or your child has been kidnapped, or your child is not coming home. And so we want to add our voice across the globe. All people of dignity and decency are saying the same thing: bring our boys home. Bring our boys home. These young men should come home unscathed and untouched. They are not part of politics, they are part of being children. Innocent children that are being used to hurt and harm other people. We saw it in Nigeria with a group over 200 young girls, and now we're seeing in Israel with 3 young boys. Children should not be used for political tools or methods to harm other people. Bring our boys home. That is important to us. America has an obligation and responsibility to add their voices to the call and to utilize our manpower and resources to ensure that we find those who are responsible for kidnapping these young boys. If they will kidnap children in Tel Aviv or Israel, they would kidnap children in Iowa and in New York. It doesn't matter. Sick minds do sick things, and it's imperative that we send out a strong message here in Crown Heights, which across the street from the headquarters of the Lubavitcher headquarters, sending that strong message in this strong Hasidic community and diverse community: bring our boys home. And so we want to allow several members of the community to speak and share their calls, so it can be heard loudly and clearly that we want these boys returned home unharmed and in the safe manner in which we believe they should be returned home. I would like Deborah to come forward and say a few words. Deborah?
Thank you, Borough President Adams. I just want to join the Borough President in saying we're standing here today before the memory of my son. This museum represents not only the children of this community, but the children of the world. There are all faces of children of every faith and every color and every ethnic group, representing children of the world and of the universe. And again, as the Borough President said, we have to bring our children home alive and well. Kids, places in this world, a 16-year-old child has to be playing and doing enjoyable things that they are doing in this museum every single day of the week, playing. And I am here as a mother, to call out to those terrorists that are holding our children, pleading with them, looking at them, look into the eyes of these kids and know they can be your own. Send them back home. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Rabbi Michael Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President. I'm Michael Miller. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. The Borough President and Dor Halberstam spoke about these young men as boys. Bring back our boys. Who are these boys? So I decided to do a little research today to find out who these kids are. Eyal Yifrach, Eyal ben Iris Teshura, is only 19 years old. He's the eldest of 8 children in his family, and he chose to complete his high school in a low socioeconomic status town. so he can help kids who are not as privileged as he is. His family describes him as vital, energetic, sports-loving. He's a youth counselor, loves to play tennis, and really ironically, when Gilad Shalit was held by the Hamas terrorists in Gaza, it was Eyal Yifrath who Facebooked regularly to make sure that his memory would never be forgotten, and was very taken by the fact that Gilad Shalit was held for 5 years without being able to communicate with his parents. And then there's Gilad Shar, who's only 16 years old. Gilad Michael Ben Bat Galim. He's one of 6 children, popular and charismatic, loves to read, listen to music, study hard, and spend time with his grandparents. He always helps around the house and loves to bake. And his sisters are hoping that he comes back soon so he can bake a cake or a muffin like he always does. And then there is Naftali Frankel, who's also only 16 years old, who's a dual Israeli-American citizen. And he's the second eldest of 7 children, an energetic young adult, a sweet and engaging fellow, loves to play soccer, basketball, as well as playing guitar. The uniqueness of Naftali is that he's an excellent Bal Koreh. He's an excellent Torah reader, and he reads Torah every week, and he's very concerned about the careful pronunciation of the words. What struck me yesterday, Mr. Borough President, everybody here, was when the parents were interviewed, the mother of this last young man said, all that we want is that these boys are brought back home so that we can give them a hug. What we can do here in America, we can do here in Crown Heights, together with the Borough President and everybody standing here, is to give them 2 kinds of hugs. One of them is a spiritual hug, through all of our prayers and all the recitation of Psalms of Tehillim that we have been saying. The second is a virtual hug. Not only to hug the boys, but to hug their parents. And probably most importantly, to hug Klal Yisrael, the entire people of Israel. We're very grateful to non-Jewish leadership for standing together with us as we call on our boys to be brought back home. But we as a community must, there's so many things that tear us apart. On something like this, there must be a glue that brings us together. I'm very heartened, Mr. Borough President, that you have called this vigil, and so many from the community have gathered here together to do just that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Borough President. Thank you, Borough, for bringing us together as one family. And that's why I think the most important word here is the word our. It's not their kids, not your kids, they're our kids, all of us. We stand together here, different backgrounds and beliefs, but we all belong to one family. Secondly, we in this country know the difference between right and wrong, between moral and immoral, between decent and decadent. For people to celebrate those who are taken hostages, for people to dance on rooftops as they did on 9/11, when kids are taken, is the height of sickness. And therefore, we want to show that we are decent, standing against the indecent. When children are born, what do we say? May you live all the days of your life. That's what we want for these kids, for all kids, for our kids. They should be able to live freely all the days of their lives. Thank you very much.
About Ellie Cohen.
I want to thank the leadership of our Borough President in bringing this all together. Really appreciate it, of course, to the Jewish Museum, the Jewish Children's Museum. And it's very fitting that we're standing under the sign that recalls the memory of a close friend of ours who was lost to terrorism so many years ago, but it's a fresh wound and a fresh memory in our hearts and in our minds. And of course, we pray that the 3 young men should not, God forbid, be harmed in any way, but should return home. And if we really want to put this in perspective, look at the wall, look at the faces of the children, all those children, and then close your eyes and think about the children that are close to you. And the children that have been captured are our children. And we should feel the same closeness and the same connection to them as we do to our own. And please God, through the prayers that we'll say here, and through the hopes and the wishes and the blessing of God that comes on this gathering where we all join together, these merits will join, and before the evening is out, before very long, these three young men will be back with their parents.
Rabbi Sterling.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Borough President, Eric Adams, for putting this news conference, the gathering over here today. We stand over here in solidarity with the world community on outcry that these terrorists, these Hamas terrorists, who kidnap our boys, and we have to see that the Israeli force should immediately catch these people and not arrest them, kill them. Without that, when you take a boy of 16 years old who came from a yeshiva and is going home for the weekend to his parents, you have to be killed. You know, in the Torah it says, an eye for an eye. And I want to again thank our president for his leadership. Here last night, came here and said, what should we do? He wants to make this, and he was always over here, and our senator and our borough president, and Crown Heights is always near his heart. So I want to thank him. Thank you for everybody out here for coming here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President. Thank you for bringing us all together. You know, the Borough President's found the same with One Brooklyn, and we are indeed One Brooklyn. We're here in Crown Heights. I come from Borough Park or other areas, but we're more than One Brooklyn today. We're One New York, One United States, and indeed One World. All in solidarity with the Gilad and Naphtali, standing against the despicable filth, the excuse of human beings who can go and kidnap these three fine young men. And they're all our brothers, our sons. And we stand in solidarity with all over the world, the entire world, to speak out and condemn it and do all we can to bring back our boys. Thank you.
And we need to hear from our youth.
During our previous war in Israel, there was a family and during the previous war in Israel, there was a family who heard a woman crying, and they asked her, "Is your son one of the soldiers?" And she said, "It's not my son, but it's one of God's children. It's somebody else's child." And I think that's why everybody is gathered here today. You know, when you put one penny into a cup, it's just one penny. It doesn't make a big difference, but when you put a lot of pennies, it really adds up. And everybody coming out here today, I'm a student, I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine, but what a terrible thing it must be to leave school one day and not come home. But the fact that everybody's gathered here today and everybody's going to pray for me is going to make a very big difference. And I know that Ayala and Gilad and Naphtali, wherever they are, they feel us and their parents, and they appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time.
Thank you very much. This is not only a man's thing. This is.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President, for the opportunity to be here. I'm from Manhattan, and in the subway on my way over, I was thinking about something that Elie Wiesel, the Holocaust survivor, author, writer, and Nobel laureate, once wrote. He once said that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And the worst thing that we can do right now is be indifferent. And that's why I know my friends and my spiritual community in New York and in Manhattan join in thanking you for organizing this, because we have to show everybody that we can't be indifferent. When the Nigerian school girls were kidnapped, it wasn't just a Nigerian problem, an African problem, an African American problem, it was a human problem, it was a Jewish problem. It's the same thing here. This is not an Israeli problem or a Jewish problem or a Jewish community problem. This is everybody's problem. As we know, We're not far from the site of 9/11 of the World Trade Center. Terrorism has no boundaries. We're standing here with Deborah Halberstam, who herself experienced personally. All felt her pain, but could never know how severe her pain is of a mother, of what terrorism means. This was a dastardly act of terrorism, and we all have to speak out. We can't be silent, and we have to leave here and say we have to do more. We have to raise awareness and light not only a candle in our hearts, but candles in all our communities. Thank you.
We also are joined by elected officials, with representatives from Congresswoman Clark's office, representatives from Assemblyman Hyken's office, representatives from Councilman Greenfield office, and we're joined by our two district leaders, both Jesse Hamilton and Renee Calabor.
I just want to say I'm pleading to the people who are holding the three young men. It hurts my heart as a parent to know that I have a child going out into the world to do great things in the community to be taken captive. So I'm pleading to the individuals holding these three young men to bring them home.
And I think you're right. This is the time we want to do a special prayer. Rabbi Shaga Love.
למנצח מזמור לדוד, יענך אדוני ביום צרה, יסגבך שם אלוהי יעקב. ישלח עזרך מקודש, ובציון יסעדך. יזכור כל מנחויסך, ואוילוסך ידש נסלה. ייתן לך חיל לבך, וכל עצתך ימלא. נרננה בישועתך, ובשם אלוהינו נתגואל. ימלא אדוני כל משאלויסך. עתה ידעתי כי יושיע אדוני משיחי, יענהו משמי קודשי, בגבורייס ישע ימינוי. אלה ברכב ואלה בסוסים, ואנחנו בשם אדוני אלוהינו נזכיר. הם מקורו ונפלו, ואנחנו קמנו ונסעדות. אדוני הושיע, המלך יעננו ביום קורנו. A short prayer, and basically this prayer that we're asking the Almighty to help us. And we want for this incident and for all the incidences that we've had enough of those already, and we hope and pray for the ultimate that we should be able to live in peace, harmony, and tranquility. And once again, thank you for
Ready. We're going to invite Zaki Tamir, come let you speak. We're going to hand out the candles.
Thank you very much. My name is Zaki Tamir from the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council, representing the Vada Call of Crown Heights, the Rebbe's holy community. Beg Hashem on behalf of our entire community, on behalf of our entire people, to please keep these three boys alive, even as they walk in the shadows of death. Hashem should be with them. And Rebbe, please watch over them. Please protect us and protect them. And bring them back safe. These acts of terror and violence are primitive acts. They are things that enter into the minds of people, the minds of terrorists, and coming together here today allows us to say that we will not be indifferent. The fact that we're coming together today, we are fighting the force just by being here. We are fighting the evil forces just by being here together and saying that no, we are going to unite. We are not going to tear down this world. We are not going to tear down the peace and the goodwill that has been created amongst communities and amongst humanity. I ask everybody to take this onto an individual level and onto a general level. Every act of saying to yourself, I'm not going to be indifferent to something like this. I'm not going to be indifferent to an evil act. I'm going to do something proactive. I'm going to do something good so that we should, again, see very soon these three boys alive and healthy. Thank you very much.
Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Like the pathway to bringing our children back home, bring our boys back home.
Amen. Good thing.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dennis Snap, and I represent Congressman Beth Park as our representative in the U.S. House of Representatives. She's in Washington, but she did send a little message for this event. Mr. President, thank you very much for the inspiration, and Mrs. Augustin for putting this beautiful museum. The message of the Congressman is with prayers, and the prayers of the United States, with Gilad Shah, Yal Defra, and Naftali Frankel, each of whom has family members here in our community of Brooklyn. Pray for their safe return as soon as possible. Share the concerns of families here and in Israel that their disappearance was an attempt to threaten security of the entire nation. I condemn in the strongest possible terms any attempt to undermine the stability and the peace in the region and in the world. President Obama, Secretary of State Kerry, my colleagues in Congress, and people of good faith around the world pledge my support in the effort to secure and return Gilad Shah, Yal Defra, and Naftali Frankel to their families, their homes. Amen.
Joined by the council in
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It has been such a solemn day today, knowing that we were going to come together on such a sad occasion, but it's inspiring that here in the Crown Heights community, as it should be, we have united today to bring back our boys. The same way we have done in Nigeria to bring back our girls, we have to put forward the same energy, the same spirit, the same campaign. We have to bring back our children. Our children have become so vulnerable all throughout the world, and it is time that we continue to raise our voices to protect our children all over the world. They cannot be held as ransom. They cannot be held at the hands of terrorists. This is not the way that we accomplish anything in this world, by using our children as ransom, as those that are kidnapped, as those that are attacked, as those that are harmed. As I look at all the little faces out here today, we don't want this to happen to any young person in our community here in Crown Heights or anywhere in the world. So we stand together as one community, as one Brooklyn, as one city of New York, to make sure that we bring back our teens safely. This is something that we do not condone. This is something that we do not respect. This is something that is horrible and deplorable to the future of all young people. I thank you all for coming out today. I thank you for sending an international message that children that are attacked or harmed in any way is something that the entire world, starting here in Brooklyn, will unite around. Thank you very much, and thank you particularly to all the children that are here today to share their voices.
A sad day and a sad week. We didn't think that we would be here tonight after a week and these children should not be found. You hear it in different languages, different dialects, different groups, but as one nation, under Hashem, we all say one thing. Children are children, as parents, as grandparents, as brothers and sisters, we plead and ask, get these children home back safely. And this is with one voice. So help us, Hashem. Hello, many of you know me. I'm Rabbi David Nessenoff. It is an honor to be here with this group here. We are footsteps away from where the Rebbe walked and where his office still stands, and we're footsteps away from the Rebbe's yurt site in just a few days. It's a holy time. And we look to the Rebbe for what do we do in times of such darkness? We transform it into light. We have to walk away with here with a pile, with something to do, not just talk. We have to transform that darkness into light by fighting anti-Jewish, by doing Jewish. We should put on tefillin, get other people to put on tefillin. The women should be lighting candles and get other people to light candles. And those who are not Jewish should be doing other acts of kindness. That is how we fight anti-Jewish, by doing Jewish. Go out there and do it, and our boys will come home, God willing.
Thank you.
Coming through the camera.
My name is Letitia James, and I'm the public advocate of the city of New York. And when children are attacked, mistreated or harmed in any way, that is unacceptable. When children are targeted because of how they look or what they are, that is unacceptable. When children are targeted because of their faith, that is unacceptable. We are approaching a week, and still, July, Natalie, and Eyal are still not home, still not reunited with their families, and that is unacceptable. This isn't a Jewish issue. This is a human rights issue. We must stand united and send the message that children are off limits, and children should never, ever, ever be political pawns. We must stand united and send the message that our children are sacred, and you cannot use them or target them or kidnap them or use them at all. I stand in solidarity with Israel and the families of these young men. We cannot allow terrorist forces to threaten the safety of people anywhere in the world. And so I want the children back. I want these young men back. Bring back our boys. 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 And while you're at it, bring back our girls. I thank the Borough President, Eric Adams, for his leadership. I thank my sister, Deborah Halberstam. Nothing separates us. And I thank all of the elected officials who are here today. We cannot not allow terrorists to target children. They're too pure, they're too sweet, and they're too innocent. Bring back my boys.
thank everyone. I think we should take the leadership from the rabbi. The best way to stop anti-Semitism is to do Jewish. You know, let's light a candle. Let's do things that will show our unity. Crown Heights is one community, and today we show that by our different groups, our different leaders, our different children coming together around this issue. Let's talk about this throughout the city. Let's not allow this to go silently by, that children are kidnapped and put in harm's way. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you.
Just going to stop recording.
How are you?